Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmanandam Param Sukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagan Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Adoration to Sadguru is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasistha in Stithi Prakarana. We are coming to the end of Stithi Prakarana, and section number is 62. The topic is the qualities that adorn an aspirant. Think of yourself as aspirant, and qualities have come with folded hands. That's called adoring. I'm joking, but the idea is everyone needs to have some type of fashionable appearance, you see. But for aspirant, the appearance is not in the physical body, in the form of qualities, virtuous qualities. Those virtuous qualities, they are abiding, they are not going to move away. But all physical adornments, they will become inheritance for the coming generations. 100 years later, someone will find a little jewel, a little of your necklace, and say, oh, this is my grandmummy or grandfather. Tell this. Just jokingly trying to say. But human mind wants to leave something impressive for the world physically. That physical, quantitative, all materials, they are not really your purposeful existence of your life. They don't bring out the real success in your personality. Your success is not based on how many things you have done, how much business you have accomplished, and all that. All that has their own value in a physical world. But a profounder inheritance you present to the people by your good qualities. So keeping that in view, Sage Vasishtha continues, one must reflect upon the fact that all objects of joy are perishable. Here joy refers to pleasure. That's what people call joy. But joy is not really. It's a boyish joy. Joy boy. And that again, people consider that's happiness. There's no harm in that. You see happiness in people, that's wonderful. But you have to also understand where is the happiness leading you to. If it is dumping your aspiration for spiritual enrichment, then that joy is not real. If you are very depressed and have a heavy drinking and then begin to laugh, you can't call it a miracle. So it looks like a miracle. Became happy. He was not happy now, he's happy. But don't become deluded. That's not. Where you are being led to, that you have to understand. It's old-time simile people give. A bear comes to, sees a beautiful honey hive, lifts upon the two legs, catch the hive. But he has not seen right under his feet, just a few inches away, is a whole big ditch and mud puddle. So, he shouts with joy, found the honey hive. But the moment he bounces, he falls. Now you have to judge, was that happiness? So all that this shallow as types of pleasure, that people find great happiness in them. If you are looking for deeper fulfillment in your life, then do not become deluded. The shallow type of pleasure, what does it do to you? It creates a foxy intellect. Foxy intellect that develops the idea that life is short. And let me therefore figure out all the pleasure centers, the best in the world. And get money by hook or by crook. And grow from one pleasure center to another. Don't waste a moment of your time. Move into this. Of course, you know that that's stupidity. So mind must have a clear understanding of what is happiness and how is it differ from just going after pleasures of the senses. Pleasures of the senses, they create mental agitation. Dhyayato vishayan punsa sangaste shupajayate, Gita says. If you go on repeating the pleasures of the senses, your mind becomes so bonded with that object or that type of experience, as if the experience is kind of a rod and it has been tied to your neck. You are deeply attached. Since you are attached, no one can shake you out of that inner illusion. Now, next point, sangat sanjayate kama. Because of that inner fascination that you are tired too. Multiple desires arise. How to find that object of your desire, how to secure it, how to multiply it, because it again creates a lot of possibilities. Someone as a human being can become a source of your happiness. But now you have to plan how can the person be secured. You are a young person and the person is opposite sex, how to match up and secure the match. Otherwise, how to secure friendship, closeness with people. Mind goes after it. And in that process, there is a vast field. People who have been a source of pleasure for a while, and suddenly your mind switches. You find those people who speak wonderful Spanish, they are better than these people who speak Persian. I'm joking, just to give you an idea. The world affords, provides for countless distractions. There are no limit. Dhyayato vishayan sangat sanjayate kama. So this is called kama, desires. And these desires are not ordinary type. You fulfill them and they become more. It's just like you are thirsty and you drink salty water. The moment you have taken little salty water, it has quenched your thirst. But then it arouses more. So there is no way that you can, going after pleasures of the senses, you can bring about satisfaction within yourself. Rather, your mind goes on developing illusion after illusion, goes on holding dream after dream in the subconscious, unconscious level. And whenever, now if you have that type of mindset, two possibilities are there. You may have fulfillment of your desires in a magical way, or your desires may be frustrated. Both ways you have to go through. You take a trip. Your trip can be wonderful all through the plane, even people around you wonderful. Your iPhone works wonderfully. And you have all delight. But then you have two possibilities. You can have a wonderful journey or a sudden shocking situation. The whole plane may collapse, have a nosedive. If your desire is not fulfilled and frustrated, automatically your mind becomes agitated. But if your desire is fulfilled, does your mind become quiet? No. Mind becomes more agitated. More agitated. Example, for the masses, everything that seems to be positive, if you have suddenly gotten a lottery, you immediately invite so many people and create a big celebration. In that celebration, you are not enjoying peace. And people are not enjoying peace. They are counting on your money. How much money can you share with them? I'm joking, but just giving you a crude picture. That what people create big festivity of pleasure. And for journalists, oh, how happy they are. But is that really happiness? So all this is called, in Gita language, krodh, means agitation of your mind. These are fulfilled and your mind is terribly agitated. All your energy is working in your mind how to have much more. If in this celebration you exploded few of those sparkling lights, next explosion you are planning for 100 times more. From here to Miami Beach. And we go viral. Human eyes wonder. But I'm just trying to show, this is where are you being led to? All this has no impact on your daily life, the quality of your life, the quality of your happiness. Where has that gone? So if you stay agitated, your reason, your intellect does not work in a healthy manner. That's called buddhinash. Your intellect becomes broken up, lame. And that leads you to all that is negative. Reverse it. Allow your mind to develop a taste for positive thinking. And no matter how things are, create a room with patience and perseverance. Just as a peacock is delighted to behold clouds of rain, in the same way, he should be delighted to pursue the sages and saints. Now, the remedy lies in finding good association. Whenever we say sages and saints, don't take it too literally. Then now I have to go to Himalayas and find that a sage whose beard is very big. I'm joking, but anyone who inspires you with on the path of virtue, and if you are sensitive, the world has all types of people. If you are foxy, you will find foxes all over. If you are a musician, you will be drawn to those who are musical expert. If you are seeking true happiness, you will be drawn to people who have those wonderful qualities of humanity, of charity, of generosity, of responding to anger with an attitude of friendliness and peace. So, in that process again, you may go to the ideal source. Any ideal source, guru, spiritual guide, becomes that's sages and saints. All satsanga relates to sages and saints, because all the material taught in satsanga, they have come from personalities who were enlightened. So even though physically they are not present, their teachings are constantly available. But that's the profound source of satsanga. But let me also make you understand that your satsanga should not be limited to what you know as satsanga in a practical way. In other words, every day of your life provides for opportunities to go after positive or stay with negative. And sometimes, even if you are just alone, you have the possibility. Alone, go into the garden, say hello to the squirrel, look with surprise how those beautiful little buds blossoming. Sometimes you will see even a little flower, the whole discus of Lord Vishnu. It all depends upon how sensitive you are. And the world provides for you all types of inspiration. Even birds, trees, the breeze that blows. And if you don't mind all that, just bask in the sun. The sun has filled you with not only healthy energy, but also allows you to have inspiration, because sun is the symbol of wisdom, symbol of God's light of lights. And that you have heard it, whether you like it or not, from many sources. So your unconscious is not quiet. In other words, if you are sensitive, sincere, you will not complain. I have no possibility for satsanga. The world has come so many sources for giving you positive view of things and encouraging you towards what is healthier, happier, more joyous. Coming to a very practical way, if you find a spiritual guide and you liked, then you follow that guidance, and that guidance is not obstructing you from being as inspired by any other source. That's the healthy setup of guru-disciple relationship. Anything that says that once you have found a guru, you should not listen to any other guru, that's not real teaching. The guru is not a personality trying to hold people to himself. Guru is a channel of God, and that channel is open for all. No matter whichever way you attain, you be inspired, you are serving your guru in a profound way. A yogi crosses the threefold ocean. The ocean of ego, the ocean of body, the ocean of relatives and friends. Okay. Hold on your emotion. Scriptures always talk about three lokas. And people have built up a lot of strange ideas about lokas. One loka is Bhur Loka, this. Now the other loka is called Bhuvar Loka. They look up to the stars, the Milky Ways. Third loka is beyond all these Milky Ways. Very core of the universe. That has nothing to do with lokas. This type of thinking makes you loco. Three lokas relate to, one is your physical experience, practical reality. That's your first loka. Everything that you deal with, house you live in, the office where you go for your job, all the details are in this practical world. That's your Bhur Loka. But while you are living in this earth plane, you are not completely confined. Your body is confined to it. But your sentiments, your heart aspect is not confined to your physical body. Here I'm not talking about physical heart. Otherwise you can get a heart transplant, from a good-hearted person. So that is not the heart we talk about. Heart is that source of your feeling. In that feeling level, any day, for example, you have all practical realities perfectly okay, day is fine, you have no money problem, there's no sickness, no bad news. But if your feeling level is having a sense of boredom, nothing new is happening, how boring. Oh God, how to pass this boring situation? And sometimes, even on those days when things are not so good externally, a lot of rain and thunder and all that, but some special news has come to you. Your iPad has shown to you that you have a grandchild. How does he look? And now you are feeling so joyous. Where is that joy? It's not in your house, not in the environment. It's a heart-based sentiment. And come to the third level. The type of happiness that comes when your mental curiosity is resolved. When the mind develops subtle insight. The two types, here again there comes always three ways to go, sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. If you are on a lower level, you are inspired by things that are degrading. And there also use your intellect. Even thieves use the intellect. They work very hard to collect all the data. So you can have a tamasic type of allowing your intellect to work, or Rajasic type. But what we are highlighting is Sattvic type. If your intellect begins to really understand who you are, what your purpose is, and opens the door to an understanding, because through pure intellect you begin to understand you are not an individual being all alone to yourself. See, every reflected sun is really the sun. Every soul that is operating through all these minds, which is one absolute self, is operating through all individual minds. And each mind has created an illusion of an independent soul. Just like in each pot of water you see reflected sun. To a child, the reflected sun is an individual entity. So, now I was talking about how 3 stages of experience. Bhurloka, that's practical reality. Bhuarloka, the type of experience that you get because of your sentiments, feelings. And Swarloka, the type of experience you get when intellect has a clarity. But your goal is neither in the Bhurloka, nor Bhuarloka, nor Swarloka. Your goal is not in the world of practical reality, because practical reality is experienced by your senses. And you cannot stay with your senses, you can understand that. And next level, if to stay with your sentiments, that also has many factors involved, karmas, etc. And to stay with your intellectual concepts or intellectual opinions, all these change. But all these can become a means to attaining I am, that am I. The real I am is not the ego. Ego I am is like reflection. Countless spots with so many reflections. So are countless souls. But the real I am is the Sun, God, the Absolute. The self that shines as the sun is also the sustainer of an ant that abides in a hole of the earth. All this requires now subtle insight by repeated listening and study and reflection. What you are being told, who am I? If you were to raise that question, that I is the self, supreme self. When you dream, to give an illustration, right on your own bed, out of your own self, you find the dream world expressing. In that dream world, you are not your own self. Your own self has split up into 3 illusions. The illusion, the dream subject. In your dream world, you are captivated by mangoes on the mango tree. So we are planning how to get the mango down. And then you are excited to see a monkey nearby. Joking. So many things can happen in your dream. And then suddenly, a mosquito enters your eyes. And begin to curse everything. Try to understand. Your own self was the dream subject. Your own self became the mango tree. Your own self became the mosquito. And your own self is the basis behind all your experience. So, though there are so many details in your dream, but resolve them all into one simple truth. Your own self, which is not body, consciousness. Exactly the same applies in your daily life. Masses, all people are satisfied. This is the way they are. But if you begin to develop a profounder way of understanding, then you begin to open your understanding. Firstly, all your experiences are based upon your nervous system, brain and nervous system, which is a little iPad. Not a small iPad, it's a big iPad. Your little iPad has tremendous possibility. But the big iPad, brain and nervous system, that possibility is beyond imagination. If you put all the modern equipments together, that cannot really bring out the capacity your brain and nervous system has. But behind all that capacity, the source is pure consciousness. Brahman, I am, that am I. And you are led to that state day by day when you go to sleep. Not completely in that state, otherwise you become enlightened. But to a very great stage where you are stripped of your body, mind, intellect, and you don't miss it. And you are charged. Hold on to this simple understanding that deep down you are not the body, not the mind, not the... So face the challenges of your life, be shaken by them. If you need to weep, weep. Need to smile, smile. Be shaken in the world, but don't get broken. All this is happening in the world that's like a dream. The real I am, no one can touch it. That sense has to enter in your daily life. If that has happened, that satsanga has done its job. Satsangatve nihasangatva. Satsanga has opened the door to attaining enlightenment. And also, keeping that in view, allow your mind to understand all things, all names and forms, not only human beings, are the medium of God, media of God, but all things, stones, rocks, animals, birds, every atom, all is Siya Ram Mai Sab Jag Jani, all is nothing but Ram, nothing but Krishna, nothing but God. But that type of understanding enters your intellect level. But intellect does not stay intellectual. Intellect has the special quality. When it becomes extremely purified, when the mind becomes extremely purified, and ego becomes quiet, intellect now, which was like a caterpillar, now blossoms up or moves into butterfly state. A transfiguration occurs in your intellect. And through that intellect, your understanding is not fragmented. The complete knowledge comes to your heart. Who am I? Aham Brahmasmi. But this whole movement is progressive. So you don't expect all that suddenly to occur. But continue to live your life with that view. And once that has settled in your heart, it doesn't matter how long it will be, how your life will flow. In your life, 3 mantras will enter. You will not be constantly thinking of what challenges I have to face. But you are constantly supported by the faith that God, who supported all challenges that you have faced from your babyhood, even from the mother's womb to every little stage, who sustained all your challenges. Therefore, your mind goes after developing an attitude, oh God, let me experience whatsoever challenges is needed for my soul. But by your grace, let it be sahaj. Sahaj means spontaneous. How does a tree face so many challenges? Because it has not studied botanical intellectual concept. I'm joking. Similarly, how did your body has gone through so many changes? Countless things go on happening in the world, in your body, and they go on happening in a very sahaj, spontaneous way. So let me face all challenges in a spontaneous way. And the mantra behind it begin to develop surrender to God day by day. Sweet surrender. Second point in your life, first one is called sahaj, spontaneous. Second one, saras. No matter how things happen, you can be shaken a little. You can be deprived of stability for a day or two, but you will not lose your inner patience. Wait and watch with a mystic fervor. So you are waiting for rasam. Rasam is cooking. You are already smelling the rasam powder. I'm joking, but that there is. It all depends on how spiritually advanced you are. And if you don't find being advanced and you fail the test, it doesn't mean that you should become frustrated. For a soul, there is no reason to be frustrated because the soul is a ray of God. And God can do anything in this world, but one thing He cannot do. He cannot separate the soul from Himself. So, that guarantee is absolute. So, no matter what, You are in divine hand. And the divine will not do anything that is negative. With that understanding, enjoy your life. Positive things, of course, there is no problem with that enjoying. Only when you enjoy positive, remember, turn to God. Enjoy the sweetness of divine surrender more. When negative comes, wait. And try to be a little foxy. God is coming with a veil of negativity. Go close to him, lift up the veil. You'll find he's smiling. God is like a mother. Sometimes mothers play with children, puts on a veil, looks frightening. The child is very clever, lifts the veil and says, oh. So that's called saras. Allow your life to be saras. No matter how long it takes, that's your challenge. And thirdly, sayujya. Sayujya means you are united with God. That you don't have to worry about. That's the reality. Section 62, the qualities of an aspirant. Vasishtha continued, having developed the ability of controlling the senses, enduring the internal and external pairs of opposites, and being endowed with a pure intellect, an aspirant should approach a spiritual preceptor to acquire the knowledge of Brahman. All this is now formulated into literature. But when you study literature, you don't have to go after every word the literature says. You go after what the literature means, what suggestion you are being given to, which I have explained to you. That when you think of satsanga, don't just think satsanga is only at that time and only in a particular place. Satsanga opportunity is everywhere, but you have to use your intellect, use your talent. You can move away from boring experience, from the state of despair, distress, by using your talent. But when you use your talent, your prayer, your meditation, your devotion to God, all that begins to help you in a subtle way. You suddenly come up with the answer and you are led to do in a particular way. Even in ordinary things, like you are suffering from a disease, you find a right doctor. And the doctor, of course, gives you the right medicine. And so forth. I'm just giving you simple things, but there are many broad implications that you are guided by your own conscience. O Rama, you are the very source of divine virtues. Rama is being presented as an ideal aspirant. And that ideal aspirant is the soul in everyone. Being endowed with all the excellent qualities that adorn a spiritual aspirant, the Rama is being presented as an exemplary aspirant. You withstand the adversities of life with a balanced mind. That's great quality of Rama. External changes, adversity, prosperity, pleasure, pain, all that to Rama's face, his face always remained calm, cheerful. Your heart being free of impurities, you are like the autumn sky devoid of clouds. And the gross impurities, anger, hate, etc., when you begin to sublimate them, then you come to a state of inner status, like the sky. Internally, you are not on shaky grounds. You are the sky. So being a sky, you are not counting how many clouds have come. How many are invited, how many are not invited. And it doesn't depend upon what are their intentions. No matter what, whichever way the clouds may come, softly, shining, shimmering, singing, dancing, whichever way, or with lots of noise. No matter how situations may develop, with God within you, you are the sky. With that type of internal serenity, you find the gateway to liberation opens up. Your intellect is subtle and discriminative. You are indeed at the very threshold of liberation. Whoever possesses such qualities are spiritual aspirants fit for attaining liberation. And these qualities we'll go on explaining, hammering it again and again. And your mind is the best place to hammer. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukma Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Shri Ramaya.